This is Prime 7 Local News with Madeleine Collignon, Kenny Hinkley and meteorologist Carl Linders with your local weather. Now, Prime 7 Local News at 6.
Tonight, a cyclist seriously injured after he was struck by a car while riding south of Orange.
Why Forbes councillors voted not to push ahead with VanFest in 2018.
Students right across the Central West say no to bullying.
And a hot and gusty weekend coming up. All the very latest next.
Good evening. A cyclist has been seriously injured after being run down by a car just south of Orange.
Police are investigating the circumstances around the crash, and for more on this, we go to reporter Floyd Cush in Orange. Floyd, what can you tell us?
Well, Kenny, both the cyclist and the driver were brought here to Orange Hospital immediately after this crash. 3 ambulance crews responded to the incident on Cadia Road just before 8 o'clock this morning. They found the cyclist lying on an embankment near the road with several serious injuries, including an open head wound. He was later flown to Sydney for treatment.
Yeah, the driver of the vehicle is suffering from shock. She has also been conveyed to Orange Health Service where mandatory testing will occur.
Now, police investigators have been sent out from Bathurst to look into just how this crash occurred, but they say it could be a while until they know for sure. Police did tell us this morning that they have several witnesses who are assisting them with their inquiries.
OK, thanks, Floyd. Floyd Cush there.
And a woman in her 40s remains in a critical condition in a Sydney hospital tonight after a crash near Molong. Police are still trying to piece together exactly how this car and truck collided on the Mitchell Highway yesterday afternoon. The crash left 3 people trapped in the car for some time. It's now been confirmed they are all related. 7 paramedic crews and 2 rescue helicopters were called to the scene. An 11-year-old boy was flown to Westmead Children's Hospital with injuries to his hip and his leg. A young girl remains in Orange Hospital tonight in a stable condition, while another woman was discharged this morning. After speculation over the future of the NAB branch in Grenfell, the bank today confirmed it will close in June. It's one of 7 branches being closed by the Australian National Bank in the Riverina region. NAB customers will still be able to do their banking at the post office, and business and agri bankers will continue to service the area.
The Forbes Shire Council has voted to call off this year's VanFest, but councillors aren't giving up on the popular event. They're determined to get it right for 2019.
It's become one of the biggest events in Forbes, but there will be no VanFest in 2018. Last year, it lost $320,000, so the council has decided to take a breather.
The end result, after a fair bit of debate, was to reflect the feelings of the community, that the community really value the event. But we just needed a bit more time to get it organised.
But it's not dead and gone. The festival brings thousands of music lovers to town and injects millions into the economy. But the council says it needs this extra time to fix a few problems.
Council is committed to the event and very much committed to having a sustainable event going forward. That's the most important thing for local government. It's ratepayers' money that we're investing.
Of the 4 times VanFest has been held, 2 of those have been impacted by weather. The Forbes Shire Council will now assess whether to change the date so that future festivals are not rained out.
We'll be having a look at harvest. We don't want to clash it with harvest. We don't want to clash it with sowing. There's a whole lot of other activities that go on. Maybe best to hold it in university holidays.
The council is confident the festival will bounce back. 75% of ticket sales from last year's festival have been refunded. It is hoped that this will bring back plenty of loyal customers. Harrison Lance, Prime 7 News.
Students across the Central West took a stand against bullying and violence today. At Kelso High School, they wore blue to show their support.
There were workshops, film screenings and a pledge wall with a promise to end bullying in schools.
We feel it's really important to acknowledge that bullying does exist. We're really keen to try and do what we can to support students.
And these students are getting the message. They're aware of the impact of bullying.
Bullying is a horrible thing, especially to go through or to just be put in a situation like that. Bullying has immense impacts on people's mental and physical state. It can affect the way they perceive the world, the way they see the world. It can affect how they do in school.
Bullying has an impact on almost everyone's life. They're either being a bystander or bullying themselves. It doesn't just affect the person that's being bullied, also their family.
And know that acknowledging it's happening is the first step.
Well, if we don't address it, then nobody's really aware of it and how much it can actually affect people. So we actually need to talk about it.
There's no question that education and trying to develop understanding and empathy is the way to go.
For this school, it's all about getting the kids involved in preventing bullying. All the money raised today will be going to Beyond Blue. Sonia Feng, Prime 7 News.
And schools in Koba also took a stand against bullying today. Over 600 students and teachers from 3 Koba schools gathered on the local oval. They formed the words "Koba Bullying No Way" to say no to bullying in the classroom and outside the school gates. All the students wore blue NDA wristbands and also held a minute's silence for Dolly Everett and others affected by bullying.
A trial of phone jamming technology to stop prisoners from making contact with the outside has been extended. It's hoped the technology will ultimately be rolled out to more regional prisons.
Prison officers conduct raids as part of Operation Purge, searching cells for contraband. Among the prohibited items, mobile phones are common.
Contraband phones in prisons are a huge problem right around the globe.
But the state government's recent trial of phone jamming technology, which began in Lithgow, is now being extended to Goulburn, and it could be extended to prisons right across the regions.
We'll use the latest jamming equipment which will enable us to target different frequencies. We've proved our ability to jam phone signals within the prison without affecting the mobile phone system outside of the prison.
Lithgow's prison is isolated.
So the challenge now is to try and replicate that success in Goulburn, which is much closer to private residences and other businesses.
Phone jamming in Australia is actually banned. Corrections New South Wales had to obtain a special exemption from ACMA to undertake the trial, and if it's successful, this technology will be rolled out right across the state. Testing will commence at Goulburn in the coming months. Serena Nastasi, Prime 7 News.
A community library that's offered a free service to the Orange community for decades is facing extinction. The Canobolas Community Library has just 2 weeks to find a new home.
This little building is a haven for book and movie lovers, with thousands of items available for free. The Canobolas Community Library also offers support to locals who need someone to talk to or a shoulder to cry on. But this amazing place is under threat. They're about to be evicted and have nowhere to go.
We've only got 2 weeks left to move, and so we're getting pretty desperate, and it's been very distressing.
It's all run by this dedicated woman, Carol Hines. She's poured thousands of dollars into the library over nearly 30 years and can't quite believe that it could all come to an abrupt end. Volunteers and library members are all devastated.
They've been crying, they've been in tears and very upset. They can't believe such a long-serving and effective community service could possibly shut down if we can't find somewhere else.
It's a lovely community function, and it would be such a shame if it had to fold up.
The community library is completely not-for-profit. They've looked at commercial property, but rental costs are simply too high.
We could not manage that, but we certainly could try and give something if somebody had. We're just open for any options.
They're appealing to anyone who might know of a space they could move into. If you can help, get in touch via the Canobolas Community Library Facebook page. Floyd Cush, Prime 7 News.
It's time now for a quick check of the weather with meteorologist Carl Linders.
He's been talking about sunny, dry conditions pretty much all week. We've got to see if he's okay. Mate, how are you going?
Yeah, it's sunny and dry. Hello to you. Hello, everybody. More of the same. Temperatures where they've been most of the week. 35 this afternoon at Parkes, 34 at Forbes, 31 at Young. In the east, though, with easterly winds developing this afternoon, it has been a little bit cooler. 22 this afternoon up high at Oberon. In the far west, though, still very dry. No rain for almost 10 weeks out at Koba. 36 degrees this afternoon. Where is the rain? It's nowhere to be seen at the moment. We have got a developing cloud band through this central part of the Great Australian Bight. Not much with that. Clear skies for us, as we've been seeing all week. Freshening winds ahead of a very fast-moving cold front across the weekend. Elevated fire dangers and potentially some fire weather warnings to be issued as a prefrontal trough, this big wave in the isobars aligned, comes through on. So a look at that in around 15 minutes, guys. I'll see you soon.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Carl. Catch you shortly.
Still to come in Prime 7 News, a big win for a group of school kids in Blaney.
And the local company that's teaming up with the Mudgee mine to get more people into work.
Next on Prime 7 News at 6:30, the city's in lockdown, protests and extra security as ASEAN leaders gather in Sydney. The desperate search for survivors after a pedestrian bridge crashes onto a busy Florida road, killing several people. And a fifth person has died after eating rock melon contaminated with listeria. That's next.
Stay in touch 24/7 with the all-new prime7.com.au.
Local organisations made a pledge to train 250 workers this year. They've been working with the Moolarben coal mine in Mudgee to make it happen.
Whether it's training the girls to take on the big machinery or training young men to service it, Moolarben Coal Mine and Skillset are doing what they can to pass on new skills to these trainees, tackling unemployment in the Central West.
Skillset Workforce has been around for over 35 years, and our sole purpose is to get as many people into employment as possible.
Skillset's pledge to find 250 jobs for young people, giving them an opportunity to work in a local business. And Moolarben Coal is helping them do just that.
Essentially, the program is around providing opportunity for members in our community, right across our complex, both underground and open cut. And it's about skilling those members of the community and an opportunity for employment in our workforce.
Tanil worked in retail for 25 years but was ready for a career change. Just 7 weeks in, she's behind the wheel of a dump truck.
It's been quite enjoyable. We've learned a lot. It's a completely different world to what I'm used to.
Skillset have partnered with Moolarben Coal Mine since 2009, and right now there's 40 trainees and apprentices working here.
Yeah, it's really good. I really enjoy the diversity.
Today I'm changing the cutting edge on that blade over there, and everything from servicing to it and replacing hoses and diagnosing problems, and just how to fix all this machinery.
When you see the progress those people have made, it's very, very satisfying, both for our people that are part of delivering that training, and when you see those people grab that opportunity, it's very rewarding.
Lucy Samuels, Prime 7 News.
Students at Blaney High School have spent years lobbying for a skate park in town, and today their hard work paid off. The state government's putting $200,000 towards the project.
Busting a move at Blaney High School. Right now, this is as good as it gets for skaters in Blaney. But after 2 years of hard work, that's about to change.
$272,620 from the New South Wales State Government. And this is going to deliver a skate park here in Blaney.
Students at Blaney High came up with the idea and spent months talking to classmates and designing the park before going to the council. They think it's something that the town desperately needs.
Yeah, I reckon it'd be good because, instead of people sitting on their PlayStations and stuff, they could get out and do something productive and they could give it a go, I guess.
In Milthorpe, there's a skate park there. Everyone goes there. It's going to be easier because more people live in Blaney.
Gives them something to do after school, something to do on the weekend, something to do in the school holidays.
The students who pushed for the skate park were at risk of becoming disengaged at school, but this mission changed that.
Increase in self-esteem and confidence because of it. They're obviously able to value some of their educational processes.
The plans are finalised and construction should begin in the coming months. The Mayor agrees there needs to be more things for teenagers to do in town.
It's a beautiful park. We have the adventure playground, and this skate park now will just be the absolute jewel in the crown.
Floyd Cush, Prime 7 News.
Canobolas Lions Club volunteers will be hard at work over the next few days, all in the name of diagnosing prostate cancer. It's part of a fundraising effort to buy a biopsy machine for Orange Hospital. Club members and their sister organisation have stepped in to cater for the Burns & Co auction at Clifton Grove.
We're doing the catering. We're also
collecting a gold coin donation from the gate, and but we would hope that we would raise quite a few thousand from that. Yeah. One person can do so much, but combined we can do a lot more.
I do hope people support them there because they're raising money for a good cause.
The fundraiser is the latest in a year-long effort with a target of $200,000. So far, they've raised $70,000.
Still to come in Prime 7 News, some big news for rugby fans in Bathurst.
And meet the teenager who's showing the boys how it's done when it comes to scooter riding.
Now to some exciting news for rugby fans in Bathurst. Shute Shield powerhouse Manly Marlins are visiting the city for a one-off session with the Blue Bulls. The sides will be put through their paces at the Bathurst Bulldogs ground. After that, the Blue Bulls will have a training session with former Wallaby and Molong local David Lyons. Lyons just wants to help the team he played for as a junior.
David just is offering his support to the Blue Bulls, which again illustrates the profile or the value that is placed on this jumper.
The Blue Bulls have a trial game against Central Coast next weekend. They'll compete for the country championship at the end of April. Most of us are comfortable on 2 feet, but the young woman you're about to meet prefers 2 wheels. Pascal Berry is keen to show everyone her sport is not just for the guys.
They're mesmerising tricks over an unforgiving concrete surface. Pascal Berry makes scooter riding look like a walk in the park. She's training for the state titles at Corrupt Skatepark in Sydney.
I'll probably decide what I do on the day. I kind of just wing it, see what happens, and it usually ends up going well.
And all the hard work she's put in comes down to just 45 seconds.
Pascal will be marked by 3 judges on several things, including her use of park and overall technique. She'll do several tricks, including a T-bog, bar rewind and rotor whip.
You just try and put as many tricks as you can and, yeah, try and land them, not stuff up.
She's the only female rider from the Central West on the circuit.
There's, well, not many girls at all.
And it's something the governing body wants to change.
My number one goal was to increase female riders in our comps. And while the numbers have gone up, they haven't gone up very, very high and not very fast either. So we're constantly looking at ways to do that.
One of those ways is offering workshops with national champion Alexandra Madsen. And the message from Pascal:
pretty much all they can do is just, go any store, get a scooter and just go to their park.
Her grind for gold is on tomorrow. Tom Corrigan, Prime 7 News.
Our Western New South Wales Mariners have 2 massive games coming up. The men's side face the Camden Tigers in the second round of the NPL 3, and the women have been training hard for their game against the Gladesville Ravens. They're looking to bounce back after a tough 1-0 loss to UNSW. They'll play in Lithgow at 3 p.m. on Sunday. It's the first home game of the season. Bathurst Triathlon Club is just one race away from winning for It's Friday, their first ever Interclub Championship. The 5th and final round of the Interclub Triathlon Series is in Dubbo on Sunday. Bathurst currently leads the standings with Orange in second, Mudgee, Dubbo and Cowra then follow in that order. But there's more than just individual races on Sunday.
We also have a teams event, so teams of 3 can enter and one person can do a run leg, a bike leg and a swim leg.
Registration opens from 8:30 and closes 45 minutes later. The sprint race starts at 9:30 and the Enticer at 9:40. Firefighters on standby this weekend as the fire threat increases. Stay with us. Carl has the local weather forecast for you in just a moment. Stick around.
For a closer look at the weather forecast, we're joined once again by Carl Linders.
So, Carl, the fire dangers are a bit of an issue this weekend.
That's right, Kenny. We've had a week, maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks in some locations of no rain and very high temperatures. And this system that's coming this weekend, this cold front, is likely to whip up some very strong and gusty winds. We are moving closer to the autumn period, so we're starting to see cold fronts on our charts. This one is going to bring down an enormous amount of heat and gale force winds above 1,000 metres this weekend, particularly Sunday. Then an autumnal shift, quite an apparent autumnal shift with temperatures coming right down at night. Daytime still quite mild, but a lot less, well, hot is what we're going to be seeing this weekend, particularly through western areas. Next week, still looking dry for now. We do have coastal showers. Some of that will spill into the eastern half of our region over the course of next week, but not much in it at this stage. Another cold front may start to link up with moisture out of a pair of tropical cyclones in the north. So as you can see, the rainfall distribution is starting to increase along the coast and still getting a good signal out over in towards the 3 or 4 way state border there. We're looking at a fine day throughout most of the state tomorrow. A couple of showers possible in the south, and if you're heading to the coast, hazardous surf warnings are in force for, well, powerful swell along the coast this weekend. 38 degrees in Dubbo tomorrow, up to 12 degrees above average in Koba, 39 degrees, 31 in the southeast, very warm to hot. The winds will increase dramatically on Sunday morning, up to 80 kilometres an hour in places like Oberon, Bathurst and Lithgow. On the plains, looking at winds of around 50 to 60 kilometres an hour. Then that wind change comes through overnight, moderates conditions down. The fire danger still looking quite high in the north on Monday. But that weather will start to come down, temperatures start to come down rather, through next week. The plains, looking at temperatures well, around 10 or 11 in places like Dubbo, 6 along the tablelands, 7 to 22 next week in orange with a few showers, and some of that may spill over to the western plains eventually, guys.
Eventually, hopefully it's sooner than eventually.
I know, I'm working on it, I promise.
Right.
Bye.
Thanks, see ya.
And that is your local news for tonight. You can discuss tonight's stories on Facebook.
And also watch tonight's top stories on our website. Now, Prime 7 News at 6:30 with Daniel Gibson. Have a great night, a lovely weekend, and we'll see you Monday.
Good night.